Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Sammy's Kitchen. In today's episode, we will be making a very simple but delicious dish. You guessed it, lasagna. Let's get started. Ingredients that you'll need are garlic, onion, mozzarella, ground beef, fresh basil, parsley, crushed tomatoes, tomato paste, oven-ready lasagna pasta, various spices, and chicken stock. Let's start out by chopping some onion. Want to prep your garlic. I usually go for the garlic with a little more color on the outside. You see the purple. Some companies will use food coloring or food dye to make their garlic look more perfectly white. You can mince your garlic by hand with a knife, or you can use this convenient tool, which I find incredibly helpful, and it'll save you some time. You can put all your garlic and onion in one bowl. Now you're going to prep your parsley. For this recipe, you don't need too much. It's just for flavor, so I'm only going to use 2/3 of this. I just have some Boursin cream cheese here, which is optional, but I find that it adds a creamy texture to the sauce, which is delicious. For the ground beef, I went with a lean ground beef from my local supermarket, and I'm just going to separate that into a bag where I add spices. The spices I add are salt and pepper, a little bit of cayenne, a little bit of cumin, garlic powder, onion powder, chili flakes, Italian herbs and seasoning, basil flakes, and a little bit of lime juice just to elevate the flavor. I'm going to chop up the parsley. You can use a food processor for this if you have one. I'm going to add half of the chopped parsley to the ground beef for flavor, and I'm going to save the other half for topping later. I'm going to give that a good thorough mix so all the flavors are evenly distributed throughout the meat. So now we have this beautiful ground beef mixture, which we are just going to fry in a shallow frying pan. You're going to start with hot oil down in a pan, add your ground beef, break it apart a bit and move it around, cook it until you don't see any pink color. That's when you know it's ready. In a separate pot, you're going to start your sauce with hot oil down. This is where you're going to add your onion and garlic for the base of your sauce. And you're just going to stir it every once in a while to make sure the bottom of the pan isn't burned. This is a red sauce where we use a red meat, so it's only fair that we add a splash of red wine to the saute. And we're just going to keep that moving a bit so it doesn't burn. I'm going to quickly switch over to check on the meat, and what we're looking for is just making sure that there's no pink color left. Once the beef's done, I'm going to turn off the heat. I'm going to add a bouillon cube to the saute for flavor. Add tomato paste. And stir. When you add the chicken stock, there's a neat trick you can do. If you want to get all the tomato paste out of the can, you can add the chicken stock. You're going to add your crushed tomatoes. Bring that to a boil. You can use that same trick again to add the chicken stock to the can to lift up the remaining tomato sauce. also find that having more sauce is better than having little, so I'm just going to add a cup of water to increase the volume of the sauce. Now this part's optional, but I like to add a little bit of yogurt and sour cream to make the sauce more creamy and delicious. I'm going to add the boursin from earlier. Obviously we want our sauce to taste like something, so we're going to season our sauce with Italian herbs and seasoning, oregano, basil flakes, Parmesan cheese, and salt and pepper. Now we can add our ground beef to the sauce. You're going to let the meat simmer in the sauce on low for at least an hour. You're going to want to grate some mozzarella cheese, and I find that having more cheese than not enough is better. For the last 10 minutes of the sauce cooking, you're going to add your fresh basil, After the sauce has been cooking for at least an hour, you're going to start your first layer of lasagna with sauce on the bottom. Your next layer is going to be your oven-ready lasagna pastas. Another layer of sauce. Just keep repeating this pattern for your layers until you run out of ingredients. Ricotta is really nice to have for this recipe too. I didn't have, so I just added provolone cheese on top. Once you're done layering your lasagna, you're going to cover it with some tin foil and stick it in the oven for about 40 minutes at a temperature of 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 190 degrees Celsius. Once you pull it out of the oven, you're going to want to let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes to cool off. Add your Parmesan cheese and your chopped parsley.